Good morning, everyone. As we are back again for another 3 minutes with God, still continuing in Ephesians chapter 1, still looking at and going through this prayer of Paul that he prayed to and for the Ephesians. This morning we'll be looking at verse number 19, so let us go ahead and start the timer. Um, so this morning again, verse 19, he says, "And what is the exceeding greatness of his power toward us who believe, according to the working of his mighty power?" That Paul tells us and is letting us know um, that he is continuing to go on and ask God to, as he asked in verse 18, for God to open their understanding, the eyes of the understanding being enlightened, so that they will know certain things about God. And so it's one of those things as he's continuing on with that God would open the eyes of our understanding, and that our eyes of understanding were being enlightened, so that we can also know what is the exceeding greatness of his power toward us. That Paul is saying that if God does not, I guess in a sense, open our eyes, then there's certain things, of course, that we will miss. And what he is saying is, he's praying that God will open the Ephesians' eyes so that they don't miss the exceeding greatness of his power. And we would miss that also if we don't understand and don't have if God doesn't open our eyes. And so it's one of those things, if God doesn't show us how good he is to us, then we might miss it. And so it's one of those things as to when I find myself looking back, looking back 10, 15 years ago, even 20 years ago, um, when my wife and I first got married, just going back and looking back on how God has been so good to us, that even at those, as I like to say, those humble beginnings, that it was all God's doing. It was all God, um, His power working for us. And knowing that if it had not been for the Lord, that I know that there would not be, I would not have what I have. But then it's also, um, I wouldn't be who I was and who I am if it had not been for God. And so um, that is one of the things that Paul is stressing is, again in verse 19, and what is the exceeding greatness of his power toward us who believe, according to the working of his mighty power. That that God is working in us, through us, for us. He's working in our situation. He's working in our circumstances, and that his um, his power is working. And he is God has mighty power. And so, as I leave you today, I just caution you and ask you to think back and remember how good God has been. And when you begin to reflect, you can then understand and see that the power of God has always been working for you and with you. So God bless you and have a great day.